Hello, my name's Kelly Salisbury. I'm a third year zoology student at Aberystwyth University, and today I'm going to be conducting a short interview with my two friends, Ella Rhi and Slatcher.
Hey!
Also students at Aberystwyth University. And today we're going to be talking about climate change and its effects on animal behavioural ecology. Okay, so in the majority of the blog posts that I've made over the course of this semester, I've been talking about the effect that climate change is having on amphibians. So, as people that have studied like the animal kingdom and whatnot, what impact do you think that the changing climates are having on amphibians and their behaviour?
Well, I know I've been talking to you recently, and I think that it's actually really interesting to notice the fact that amphibians seem to be a bit of an indicator species. Well, not species, but that's the phrase, in terms of climate change, because they seem to be they seem to be affected by it a lot quicker than sort of mammals and other species. So to me, I think it's really important to notice the impact that it's beginning to have on these creatures.
What Rhi said.
Helpful. Are there any examples that you guys can think of animal behaviour changing because of climates?
Well, for me, the biggest one that strikes home is around the North Sea. We have a really large puffin population in the United Kingdom, and puffins rely nearly wholly on sand eels for their food, and due to recent changes in various streams and currents within the ocean, we're seeing a massive change in when sand eels are getting to the UK. Because of this, we're actually seeing that puffins are beginning to change their diet, because initially it was thought that they were going to have real difficulty and that they were likely to have to change their breeding season, which would completely muck up their patterns and they'd suffer really big losses. But it seems that whilst they've struggled to start with, they've found that other species of fish are coming up at different times as well because of these differences in currents. So they're beginning to change what their food source is away from the sand eels. So I think that's quite an interesting one.
So we're not going to see any of the pictures anymore of the puffins with all the little
No,
things
we're not, which was always a nice one.
So that's a good one, because it's shown that animals do have an ability to adapt to anything that comes their way, and that it does actually give a bit of hope in that animals will be able to adapt their behaviour fast enough to be able to keep up with any changes that come along.
Yeah. I think it's important to note that as much as there is a lot of stories of doom and gloom about like, oh my god, climate change, end of the world and stuff, it's more that we aren't able to cope than other species aren't able to cope, because we're beginning to see that actually a lot of species are able to change the way that they feed or the breeding seasons that they have. And it's more us that's going to struggle than a lot of species.
Okay, so what do you guys think about climate change as a whole and its effects on animal behaviour, and do you think there's anything that we should be doing to either help species that we know are being negatively affected or just in general?
With climate change, I went to a giant debate with my teacher when I was in year 8 because he seemed to think that it was completely human. It was humans' fault, humans were to blame. And it's actually a thing, like, it's a natural progression of the world, we're just speeding it up. So the fact that we're speeding up means that we should probably do something, because it is, well, obviously it is a lot that it is our fault right now. But in regards to what we can do, to be honest, like Rhi said, the animals are kind of adapting a lot better than we are. So we could be trying to help them, and they might be helping themselves in completely different ways, like with the puffins and everything.
I think there are instances where we do need to start paying attention to what we're doing a bit more.
Well, we need to like regulate what we're doing and kind of stop all the bad things.
I think a big one is sort of like our reliance on fossil fuels.
Okay, so it's been great talking to you guys, and I'd like to say thank you to you guys for watching as well. Once again, I'm Kelly, it's Ella and Rhi and little Victor. Victor! So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye! Ciao!